Hello, and welcome to the Steve and Mark Discuss podcast, where, as the format goes, Steve raises a subject, speaks about it for a few minutes, and then I respond, and he will interject as required. So, I do not know what Steve is about to mention, as always, which makes it exciting and a bit nervy at the same time. But over to Steve.
Hi, people. So, who does Commander Fravor, a certain Mr. Grush, and a certain Mr. Graves have in common? And the answer is that in July of this year, they gave an audience to Congress in the US about extraterrestrial life. As the Commander Fravor, he was the pilot who made famous that Tic Tac video where they were chasing the little UFO above the waves of the ocean. Mr. Grush and Mr. Graves are supposedly intelligence whistleblowers. There was nothing much mentioned at this meeting. It was televised. I watched it myself, and they mentioned Operation Blue Book, which I'd already known about, and the rest was just general. You know, they didn't. They both the two intelligence officers were not intelligent, not really intelligent.
Well, yeah.
There was one using a euphemism which I thought was interesting. When one of the I don't know if it was a senator or a representative, but asked him, they claimed that they collected downed craft, you know, and she asked him if they recuperated, if they got recuperated the craft, were there any aliens inside the craft that they'd recovered as well? And so one of the intelligence officers said, we recovered the craft, and there was some non-human biologics.
Yeah.
What is a non-human biologic? This sort of whet the lady's appetite. You know, she was all excited. She was, you know, not only did he use a complicated term to say alien, you know, she was into it. But for me, a non-human biologic could also mean a plant, right? So, you know, we got this craft and some grass. That doesn't, you know, it wasn't. It really wasn't very forthcoming with what she was asking him. But he certainly hoodwinked her, because she was well into it. She was well into it. Both of the intelligence officers asked if they'd seen an alien, and both of them said no. One of them said, "But I know a person who told me he did." Which, you know, in this world of UFO and aliens and all this, you know, it's very common to know a guy who knows a guy who did. You know, so I mention this because recently, this week, the Daily Mail ran with a story saying that the CIA has got at least 9 intact, potentially alien vehicles, said 3 anonymous sources.
Okay.
The sources supposedly briefed on top secret operations in the Office of Global Access is a secret branch of the CIA established in 2003.
Mm.
Most of the Office of Global Access Operations is based on stray nuclear weapons, down satellites, or adversary technology. But some missions involved retrieval of UFOs,
Mm.
or UAPs as they are described nowadays, unidentified anomalous phenomena. Normally, it's the military that pick them up,
Mm.
but if word gets out too much, the OGA, takes them into private hands. Right, so let's analyze that just a little bit. First of all, the article says potentially alien.
Mm.
So it doesn't confirm if it's alien. It's potentially alien. So the Daily Mail is covering itself there
Yeah.
by saying, it could be, but let's go with it,
Mm.
And it said that the three anonymous sources supposedly briefed,
Yeah.
which means that's open as well as to
Mm.
if they were briefed, if they are who they say they are, and who they're not.
Yeah.
I had a little check on the internet, and this story has been carried by several news outlets. And it looks like once again the news outlets are playing "Follow My Leader."
Mm.
One after the other. They see that, oh, that looks interesting. We'll publish that. That looks interesting. We'll publish that. But they didn't. Once again, they didn't say anything that I haven't heard before.
No.
In the 90s and early 2000s, so I was in this world
Mm.
of UFOs. I used to be a moderator on
Yeah.
a forum about UFOs.
Mm.
People like Dan Burish.
Mm.
Dan Burish was a guy. He claimed he was a scientist, a bacterial scientist.
Mm.
When the truth came out, he was actually a security guard.
Yeah.
And a guy called Henry Deacon,
Mm.
which was a pseudonym, and he actually came out as being a real person.
Yeah.
When I was on this forum,
Yeah.
and he said that his real name is Arthur Newman,
Okay.
and I was kicked off the forum
Oh, okay.
because I said that he was just an old guy, ex-army guy who was just trying to top up his pension, by giving these declarations. Because
Pretty cool.
there's
Yeah.
a lady in this forum called Kerry Cassidy.
Yeah.
She took him to one of these UFO conventions.
Yeah.
I believe it was in Barcelona in Spain. I can't
Okay.
remember the year. And this Dan Burish was giving his speech,
Yeah.
and this Kerry Cassidy invaded the stage
Mm.
with this Henry Deacon.
Mhm.
And Henry Deacon said, "I know what Dan Burish is saying is the truth because I've been to Mars. I've been abducted and been to Mars."
Oh, okay. Right.
Which is a definite no. You've got mentally disturbed people who
Well,
are. The world is full of them. Take it from me. There's a site. I was laughing this morning.
yeah.
There's a site called UFOWatchdog.com,
Okay. Yeah.
and everybody needs to go to this to find out who the Rogues Gallery is.
Right. Okay.
And there was a guy who claimed a Mexican from Mexico.
Yeah.
From Mexico.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Mexico. Well,
That's the land of the professional wrestler.
yes.
Who wears a mask.
Yes.
So he claimed that some extraterrestrials lent him a tripod so he could put his camera on it to take some photos.
Oh, that's good of them.
That's nice. Anyway, these some of these people, some people have made a very good living out of this.
Well,
They made very good living out of this.
Well, I mean, okay. I mean, yeah,
I think because of this story here,
yeah,
this latest one, you know, I looked for the Office of Global Access and
yeah,
couldn't find anything about it on the internet. So it must be really, really secret, you
right.
know, that
So,
not even the internet has anything about it.
right,
And
yeah.
you know, I think that possibly there might be some part of the CIA that are touting government for some money
Um,
to fund their operations.
I'm I'm going to put it another way. Is it the Biden administration looking outside to see if there's any intelligent life anywhere?
Good. Look, that wouldn't put it past me
Yeah,
because something's going to happen next year before the elections.
yeah,
And if it's going to be another pandemic, if it's going to be a threat so that he can claim
yeah.
uh, war um, war status,
Well, okay, yeah,
you know, and they'll say it was famous of the Reagan speech. He said that what we need, you know, is an outside threat so
yeah.
that the US and Russia can get together,
Mm.
you know, and defend the planet. And
Well,
it may could well be that you know that something's in the works there, but
well,
it's
yeah.
for sure for sure it's further than what the eye can see.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, I'll build into that in a minute. I mean, when you're talking to me, I mean, yes, I grew up in the 70s, the 80s. I've always watched films on television and etc. from the 50s onwards, you know, when there was a big explosion. And it was a metaphor for communism or for Russia invading aliens. Yeah. I've read War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, which, you know, I grew up with all this. Um, Probably was a time I did strongly believe it. I don't just believe there can't be intelligent life elsewhere in the universe. Yeah, I think I
You
can't
know,
remember the guy. There's an equation that says that, and I can't remember the guy's name. I should do. And yeah, to me, whether or not it's intelligent life elsewhere or form of life. Um, Now we have to remember that the universe, from our current understanding, is 13.5 billion years old. Yeah. So, we're what? How was the universe? 12 billion, something like that. So I mean, you know, we have to go with most galaxies will be around that sort of age. So everything's been developing at the same time. Okay, the Big Bang. Okay, there's ancient ones, you know. Even a very, very advanced technology would probably find it very, very difficult to be able to travel. We just spoke about time travel the other week and all this, and we can go into wormholes and all that. There's extension on this and all that. Yeah, folding time to be able to slip through and everything else. All theoretically wonderful, yeah, on paper. And the amount of energy. I mean, when you think we are still okay, how do you rate us technology as a species? We're probably quite advanced in many ways, and we're struggling to get back to the moon for whatever reasons. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Get back to
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm not gonna join your conspiracy there. I
now.
believe that Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon. If if I found out otherwise, my entire faith in everything would probably disintegrate rather rapidly. Okay. I think it was a human achievement. I think what it was good, and you were talking about what got Russia and America together. In many ways, it was that. It was a friendly rivalry. It pushed human endeavor. Yeah. If the we know that if the Russians and the Americans and possibly the Chinese could all pull together, and Europe as well, I'll put Europe in that. Okay. Okay. Take on Asian countries as well, but we could achieve incredible things. Yeah. So as a species, we are capable. Now we're at the probably tip of it. Would another life form, a non-human life form somewhere else, be able to do that? That's my big question. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. We could have a universe. We have have one slightly more advanced than us, others not so advanced. Ones that have become very advanced hit the pinnacle and have slipped back. Yeah, we might actually manage to get to another planet somewhere and find the remains of something from a catastrophe of sorts, be it probably self-inflicted conflict, which would be a warning to us. Yeah, because we've got the capability of destroying ourselves 7 times over, which I believe has come down from 12 times over. So we're improving on that score. Yeah, let's be honest. Now, I believe in the possibility of it, and I'm not alone there. I remember some years ago, there was a program on British television. I think was it headed up by Brian Cox. Patrick Moore was involved. Yeah, Space Watch, Star Watch, Space Watch, and yeah, they were doing a live experiment where they was trying to see if there was a beam coming from a particular place. Yeah, and they had it all set up. Yeah, they pointed it kind of, and they had to do a risk assessment at first. What would happen if on live television in UK, which would be going around the world at this point, they actually discovered evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. Yeah. And they contacted different agencies, and they even contacted the Vatican. And what really shook it was, what is the policy if we do discover this? The UN doesn't really have a policy, as far as I understand. The US doesn't really know what to do. I don't know about China. I can't speak for Russia. But they said what was really, really surprising is the only organization that really didn't dismiss it but took an interest was the Vatican. And they were on the phone with this researcher for 20 minutes or something discussing it. Because don't forget, the Vatican has its own astronomical research establishment, which contributes quite a lot. I'm on their site and page, and I read quite a lot from it. Run by former Harvard University professors, I believe, so who took the cloth, as it were.
The Vatican telescope is one of the biggest in the world.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, yeah. Look, okay, I'm a Catholic. I'll say this. Yeah, they're looking for future converts anywhere. Yeah,
that'll be Jehovah's Witnesses, won't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. They've already arrived there. They're knocking on the door already. God, they're going to upset a lot of people. Yeah, they always manage to go. Yeah. This poor old ET, sitting down for his dinner. Ding dong. Oh, no. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I believe that there's a possibility of life, either not as advanced or more advanced. I think if contact was going to be made, it's probably been made by now. Or we might be the ones that actually make the contact eventually. Probably not in our lifetime. How do we travel and find these places? I mean, the fact now we have the ability to almost instantaneously from 10 billion miles away, 10 million to 10 billion miles away, be able to receive messages within 50 seconds or something. Yeah. Means the tech is surviving, is almost there to probably communicate. So if you take, we can do that. If another non-human form had that ability, we could be hearing from them quite soon. Yeah.
Well, as Father Facundis, he's one of the scientists at the Vatican. He wrote some time ago. I actually wrote an article about it in the magazine called the Observatory in English.
Yeah, yeah.
Which the Vatican it has this magazine. He said that extraterrestrials are our brothers.
Well, yeah.
Which as we are all made under the hand of God, then they will be our brothers.
I mean, from a religious point of view, I don't have an issue with it at all, believing there could be another species. But, I mean, okay. There's two things. I mean, there'll be a level where they've probably created their own understanding of spirituality as well, whatever that might be.
Yeah.
We can't
We
even
have to
we can't even decide what that is
amongst
on Earth.
ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that today. Yeah, yeah, we're kind of having a little bit of a dust up about that in various parts of the world. You know, one supreme being interpretation of the teachings. But yeah, but yeah. Anyway, getting back to it. Yeah, it's interesting that Congress is doing this. I've been reading parts of this and I just lost interest. You've got the staying power I haven't on this one because I saw these people and I don't like to judge people. I don't disbelieve people see things sometimes. Who am I to judge? I my whole faith is based upon something I can't prove, so I'm not going to judge other people for things. Okay. I will use logic on things. I'm afraid getting to Mars and meeting with ETs and all that is probably a little bit of an exaggeration. When you were talking about grass, you know, non-human human forms or something, biology, I suspect
Biology.
grass might be a little bit involved there as well.
Yes, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Right, so let's wrap this up. I'm also a believer that there is life out there.
Yeah.
But I think in this case of this article in the Daily Mail and also this meeting in July, I think that there has been since I don't know about 2000, the year 2000, a generation of believers of UFOs that've been dying off,
Yeah.
and so you need something to keep that faith, if you like, going.
Yeah.
Because if as without that, the government has got a weapon less to try and control the people. I thought it was interesting that you mentioned the thing about, is it something that the government is trying to do to, that that just dawned on me when you said it,
Yeah.
and I think it's probably one, a department of the government is touting their wares to get more money,
Yeah.
or B, yeah, you could very well be right that next year Biden can use this sort of thing to declare a sort of emergency war.
Well,
It wouldn't surprise me, Mark.
well,
It
yeah.
wouldn't not
Is this the
surprise me.
same Biden that was talking about Congressman Trump the other day? Sorry,
Yes, 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 yes.
just meandering, just trying to think of where this is going with it, where he's going with it all. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay, well, I think we both think there's the possibility of life out there. As to what happened in Congress the other day, extremely open-minded, I'd say. Who am I to judge? Three officials, it's their paid profession to do all this. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, okay, when I was younger, as I said, we grew up with it, we read about it, we had programs on TV about it, and we liked it. It was a bit of fun. We didn't think ET was just going to suddenly arrive in our back garden any more than Doctor Who would, or Captain Kirk, or anyone else. Be nice.